If you are in a place right now in your life where you feel deeply dissatisfied with how things are going, and if you have this incredible frustration because you know that the gap between how much you could achieve and who you could be and how much you are actually achieving and who you are right now is too big, then this video is for you. With it being the end of the year, I've been reflecting a lot on the lessons that I've been learning and how far I've come over the past few years. And I wanted to share some of those reflections with you, not from a place of arrogance, not at all, but from a place of knowing that when I felt stuck in my life, I would have loved to see a woman that looked like me share her story of actually getting where she wants to be. That would have inspired me. So today I wanted to be real with you and tell you about how my life looked like 5.5 years ago compared to what it's like now, so that you know and you really put it in your head that anything is possible for you too. So let's start from the year 2020 when COVID really became a huge issue internationally. I honestly was at rock bottom. Like, I was 100% depressed. And it was not just about posting sad quotes or sad memes on my Instagram. I was struggling to get out of bed. And the worst part is that I knew deep down that I was meant for more. I just couldn't seem to be able to see how to get out of that feeling of being stuck and depressed at that time. And even as a kid, like, I've always dreamt of being a leader and doing big things, making an impact, but there I was, stuck in jobs that I hated, working for people that I didn't respect, giving them all my time and energy, and barely making enough to survive as well. That was the worst part, probably. And on top of it all, I was incredibly spiritually disconnected from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I felt like He was punishing me from my past mistakes, from mistakes that I had made when I was a teenager especially. It was like I had convinced myself that this miserable existence that I was living was a sentence for the bad things that I had done when I was younger. And I didn't have any self-awareness at all. Like, I didn't know anything about the mind, how it worked, psychology, limiting beliefs. All I was able to do at that time was blame other people, my circumstances, for the way that I felt and the way that I was acting. And in order to survive days after days, I was distracting myself with unhealthy habits, anything that would help avoid reality and the realization that I hated the life that I was living. Honestly, at that time, it felt like I was drowning every day. And then as things got worse and worse and worse, eventually I hit rock bottom, alhamdulillah. And rock bottom does have a blessing to it, believe it or not. It's that when you're completely alone in the struggle, you're forced to finally find answers. Like, at some point, there's no other choice, really. So for me, it was picking up Awaken the Giant Within, which is a book by Tony Robbins. And that book had been in my iPad for a few years, but that's when I actually started reading it, and that's when it completely changed my life. It introduced me to coaching. For the first time in years, something in me clicked. I don't know, like, I think this is divine intervention by definition. And whatever I was reading from the book, I actually applied in my life, and I was getting all these breakthroughs about why I was the way that I was, and I was acting the way that I was, and everything just finally made sense. And I realized that I was an actor. I was the main and principal actor of my misery. So I started sorting through my messy life piece by piece, and not so slowly, actually. Within 3 months, my entire life was changed. Because one morning I woke up after another day of bad habits and not being connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, enough is enough. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm done. And with Allah's help, I managed to change my habits, my surrounding, my entire life. Then came the moment where I decided I wanted to be a coach. For the first time in years, I felt alive. It was not just me surviving or existing anymore, it was me feeling alive. Just like when I was a kid again. I was finally doing something that I was naturally good at, something that mattered, something that I knew was meant for me. And that helped me value myself so much more as well. Can you imagine, after years of self-hatred, I actually began to truly believe in myself. And at the same time, because I was healing, I was able to reconnect with my family, with whom I was in enormous conflict Some relationships I thought were broken beyond repair, but no, actually they healed. Because when you heal yourself, you stop bleeding on everyone around you. But of course, the biggest transformation for me was coming back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without the mindset of, I need to be afraid of him, he's going to punish me, all of that dissipated, and the type of love that I started developing for him at that point was completely different. It was a love filled with hope and a desire to please him. There was a real connection there that was not there before. I finally got to know him, his mercy, his wisdom, his plan for me. And religion felt like a life jacket in all of that. Without it, I wouldn't be where I am, obviously. My daily life completely changed as well. Before, it looked like I would wake up completely depleted. I would stay in bed for hours. I would procrastinate on meaningless work. I would feel like my soul was dying on a day-to-day basis. And now it's waking up feeling blessed because I get to decide what my day looks like. I get to work with whoever I want to work. I get to help people and see the difference that the work that I do has on them directly and in their lives. I'm not trading my time and my energy for money anymore. I'm actually multiplying those two things through the work that I do without having to slave anymore. And you know what blows my mind the most is the ripple effect that small decision of becoming a coach has had in my life. Like, I never imagined that making that choice would bring me where I am today, where I went from not having a place to call home to being able to buy a house for me and my daughter. I have you guys, this huge community and this huge audience that is hopefully benefiting from what I have to share. I have incredible clients that I love and that I pray for that are also able to change their lives because I'm teaching them how to free themselves from a lifestyle that's just not theirs. It's not for them. It's not what they believe in. It's not in accordance to their values. In my family, alhamdulillah, I feel like everyone has benefited from me making that decision and taking the risk of becoming a coach as well. I'm present and relaxed for my daughter. I'm able to do things for her that 5 years ago I would have never been able to do, like take her anywhere she wants. Just also embody a version of femininity that I'm proud to be sharing with her. This idea that you can be a woman, you can work from home, you can do something that you're passionate about and earn money from it. You can be relaxed and still live in abundance. You don't have to be stuck in a 9-to-5 and to climb the ladder in a professional career that drains you, which is what I was taught. I'm so glad that my daughter does not have this ingrained in her the way that I did for so long. And of course, there's the pride of being able to take care of my mom, being able to buy her a piece of land, seeing her happy because of those small things, things that appear small to me now, but that are actually huge, subhanAllah. Being able to take her to her first Umrah trip, that was the best thing ever, because now I know I'm the favorite kid out of 5 children, and not being the eldest, that wasn't easy. So alhamdulillah for that. But you know, obviously, like, one of the best thing about being a coach is also the transformation that I have witnessed in my clients. And I think one of my first clients is probably going to be the one that I remember forever, because that's the one that gave me the confidence to keep on going. At the time, like, I wasn't big on socials or anything, so this person came to me through a friend. And this was at the time when I was doing general life coaching. So I was coaching non-Muslims, Muslims, male, female. So this man came to me, and when we started the work together, he was burnt out, he had anxiety attacks, he hated his career, he was struggling to connect with the opposite gender, although he wanted to get married eventually. He had conflictual relationship with his family as well, identity crisis because he was a first-generation immigrant in a Western country. So there was a lot going on that he was not happy with. But after a few months of coaching, it's like magic happened, literally. Like, he became a different person. I don't know. And you know, to have that as almost a first-time experience as a coach was incredible for me, because I myself didn't know what I was capable of at the time. And to be honest, it was not even me. It was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the space that He allowed us to create when we would have those sessions. But in just a few months, he changed his career and started doing something that he actually loved. His anxiety dissipated completely. His relationship with his family improved radically. He started drama classes because I advised him to, so that he could get out of his comfort zone and be more comfortable. And he happened to have met a woman at those drama classes, and they got married last year. And last time I checked on him, or last time he actually reached out to me, they were traveling all over South America for their honeymoon for like 6 months. He actually sent me a message recently to ask me for my address because he wanted to send me a postal card. And it just gave me that flashback of like, subhanAllah, this is what happens when people take a step to work on themselves and improve their situation and their character, and to change, to genuinely and sincerely change and question who they are and what they're doing. And that was literally the best experience, I think, for me as a coach in my first few months of making that massive decision of taking on this path. And that's when I knew as well, this was not just a career change for me as well. It was my calling. This is my calling. Even if sometimes it is challenging, and this is what I want to tell you as well, like not a lot of coaches will talk about this, but this path will get lonely at times because I've decided to take on a journey that not a lot of people are on. Most of my friends are in 9-to-5s, and I don't have a lot of friends as well because of that. I refuse to be part of the daily grind, and that means that I rejected the living for the weekend type of mentality. So I've lost a lot of people. I've lost friends as well who were not actually friends because they didn't want to see me succeed. You know, this expression that says that misery loves company. I was not miserable enough to keep them company anymore. So that's one thing. The other thing is that being your own boss will bring a certain type of pressure that not everyone is meant for. For me, as someone who has ADHD, it's actually perfect. I need the pressure to get things done. But there are days where the weight of building something so big and so important from nothing can feel crushing. But even with all of those cons, I would not change the way that my life is at all. Like, I wouldn't change it for nothing. I love every bit of it at the moment, and I know this is what I'm meant for. And if I could go back in time and talk to my 25-year-old self who was crying in bed almost every day, or who was trying to numb herself at all times in order to not sit with the pain of feeling miserable, I would tell her, trust me, if you take risks, if you come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you trust Him, things are gonna get so much better for you. What's coming is so much more passionating, exciting, exhilarating than what you have right now and what you're holding on to. So at some point you'll need to let go, basically. So if you're listening to this and you are in that place where you feel like you are in a room that's really dark and you're waiting for something to shed light on what to do next, then just know that you are in control. Like, you're the one who's gonna flick that trigger, flick that switch, and change things for yourself by just deciding, I'm gonna have tawakkul, I'm gonna put everything in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I'm also going to take a step forward by doing something that's risky, doing something that I believe might lead me to losing everything, but that could also lead me to being a lot more fulfilled in my life. And when you think about it, in all honesty, like, even if it's scary to do something different, do something risky, step out of your comfort zone, it's never as scary as we make it to be. Would you really lose everything if you decided to become a coach, for example, start your own business, change the country where you live? No, there's little to no chance that you would lose as much as you think you would lose if you took a risk. Your brain is just trying to protect you by creating extreme scenarios that are negative. The truth is, even in the negativity, there are lessons that you need in order to get to the next level. So, just to finish on this point, if you're watching this with that familiar ache in you that you are meant for more, but you don't know how to get there, I need you to know something. You're not broken. You're not being punished. You're just being prepared. The gift in you that you've been hiding, there's someone out there who really needs it. The story that you're holding and that you're ashamed of, that's going to be someone else's survival guide. For me, becoming a coach was not just about building a business. It was about building a life that honors what Allah has created me for and who He has created me to be. So take that as your lesson. Whatever you're stopping yourself from doing that you've been secretly obsessed with, that's probably coming from Him. Go and pursue it. What's the worst that can happen? If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Let me know what would change in your life if you finally gave yourself permission to pursue your calling. And if you want to explore what it would look like to become a coach and be supported by me and my team in order to do that, then comment TTC in the comment section and I'll send you a link to book a call with us and discuss your future as an amazing and successful coach, inshallah. I'll see you in the next video. Ma as-salama, beautiful.